14 illegal Minecraft build hacks that you may find useful at some point. Let's start off with the sideways nether portal. First of all, this doesn't actually work. You can't go through it. This uses a mix of respawn anchors with glowstone to create the portal effect. You can fill an obsidian frame with it and create a sideways portal. Although you can't actually use it, it looks pretty nice and you could use it to confuse your friends or something. You can only do this in Minecraft 1.16 and higher, because that's when the respawn anchors were added. Next up is the boat elevator. Have you ever spent hours building a piston elevator and then it barely worked? This thing is not only cheaper to build, but it works a lot faster too. Watch this. You just stand at the bottom, look up, and spam right click. And just like that, you're already at the top. To make this is really easy. You just need blocks and boats. You build up 5, and then place the boat on top like that. Then you can destroy the bottom 4. Then come out here, go 1 across, and go up 5 again. Once again you can destroy the bottom blocks, and place the boat like that. Keep doing that pattern as high as you need it. Have you ever had a farm like this, but when you open the gate, you can't even get into the farm? Or maybe all your animals walk out through the gate instead. There's an easy way to get around that. If you place carpet on the fence, then you'll be able to jump into the cage and back out, and none of the animals are going to be able to escape. This way, you won't have to deal with gates letting all of your animals out. This is an easier path in, and only you can take it. Now, you see this here? This is just 1 block of water, right? But actually, it's an infinite source of water. This can be done by creating a square of stairs, like that, and then filling them with water. This will create an infinite water source, but it looks like it only takes up 1 block of space. I make these all the time because they look cool, but you can go even further than that. In fact, there's an infinite water source here too, but you can't even see it. You can do this by waterlogging slabs above an infinite water source that it looks covered, but the game will still let you pull water from it. You can make your entire floor a water source and no one will even realize. Now this bridge here, it looks pretty incomplete. It would be really cool if we could attach rope to here and then having it going down to the ground, but you can't really do that. But you actually can. If you place a chicken down here and attach a lead to it, then you can bury the chicken in the ground and attach the lead to the post, and it will create a rope. Now you could do it better than this, but it looks like a rope is going from this post to this post. You can do that all around the bridge, and it really helps bring it all together. Now you've probably all used pistons in redstone contraptions before, but you can actually make a really nice floorboard design using them. It's definitely not their intended use, but you can create a little pattern like this that can be tiled to create a cool floorboard. You can do it with other unintended blocks too, like here we have smooth stone, but here is a blast furnace. You're not meant to use blast furnaces for building like this, but it gives a really nice checkerboard effect that you can't achieve with any other block. You can use other non-building blocks too to create really interesting floor patterns that can complement your build really well. Here's how to create a really compact bird cage. If you just want a little area for your bird to sit in without taking up too much space, you can put it in a little glass cage. Simply place a piston like that, put glass in front of the piston and power it. And it should push the glass over the bird. It won't kill the bird, but it'll give it a nice little cage for it to sit in. Here we have a netherite beacon. The entire thing is made out of netherite, but it's not made out of netherite. You can fill the inside of a beacon with iron and nobody will even know. It's still definitely hard to accomplish, but it's a big shortcut if you just want it to look cool. Now here we have a wall. The problem with walls is they look pretty flat when you have a very long one like this. There's a few ways to fix that. You can create little pillars on the wall by, around the back, adding another wall like that, and it will create a little textured pillar on the opposite side. You can do this all along the wall at varying heights to create a cool 3D effect. Now if you want the wall to look good from both sides, you can remove those, and instead you can put string on top of the wall. This is very hard to see, but it will give the same effect for both sides of the wall. Next up, we've got some particle work. So here is a pretty standard stove that you might find in a kitchen. If you take campfires and put them underneath, then the smoke will go through the block and create this cool effect so that it looks like you're actually cooking with it. You can use this to create pools of lava too. So this is just lava with campfires underneath. This makes it look a lot hotter and can really complete the build. You can use other types of particles too. Like here we have purple particles coming from underneath the carpet. This is achieved by using ender chests under the carpet. They create the purple ender effect and can be used to add a magical feel to any room that you want. It can look really good around an enchantment table, or like here I have it around the lectern. Now with even more particles, this fountain looks a bit dull by itself. If you come up here, you can replace the stone brick here with soul sand, which should create little bubbles here. Then if you place a block above it and shoot a bunch of arrows into that block, when you break that block, all the arrows should fall into the water, and if you ignore the ones that got stuck there, they should create a little splashing effect. I mean, this one's kind of boring to be honest, but over here I've created a little bridge using campfires. If you grab a campfire and right click it with a shovel, it will put out the fire, and it will leave you with these rafter looking logs. You can make a lot of things using this, and it's a very unique looking block that you can't achieve any other way. They can be used to make little bridges, rafts, a lot of things really, whatever you can imagine. Now here we have what's meant to be a really basic looking street. A lot of people like adding drains to the streets that they make, just for decoration. But there's a cool way that you can do that with scaffolding. If you place scaffolding somewhere on the street, you can then fill it with water, and it will look like a grate filled with water underneath. You can even take this one step further by adding secret passages under your street, using these to enter them. It looks a bit weird by itself, but I've seen these put into builds really well. Now finally, maybe you have a fancy room like this, but it feels a bit incomplete. There's actually a way to give it a reflective looking floor. If you build an identical room but upside down underneath it, then by replacing the floor with glass, it looks like the floor is actually a mirror instead of see-through. This is a really cool effect that can be used for throne rooms or anything fancy really. Of course you can't see your own reflection in it, but it can be a really nice final detail to your build. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you plan on using any of these, consider dropping a sub, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.